Let me move to your record on taxes in Arkansas, which is also coming under a lot of scrutiny and great criticism from this group called the Club for Growth, which is now starting to run ads in Iowa about your record. Here's part of it.
There's a lot of support for a tax at the wholesale level for tobacco, and that's fine with me. I will very happily sign that. Others have suggested a surcharge on the income tax. That's acceptable. I'm fine with that.
And the tax burden in Arkansas did go up during your tenure from about $1,900 per person to $2,900 per person over 10 years, and also an overall increase of about $500 million. So how do you plead to the charge of raising taxes?
Well, first of all, I plead to the charge of cutting taxes 94 times. I also recognize that the income tax was the same when I left office as it was when I started. The overall tax burden, according to the U.S. Department of Commerce, state and local taxes in my state, in the nearly 11 years I was governor, went up by 1.1%. Now, the critics are going to point to that particular clip, George, and I always, first of all, say I'm more embarrassed by how I looked at that particular point than by what I said, because that was a put up or shut up moment as I spoke to the legislature. If you play that whole speech, what you would see is that the context was we were days away from a budget shutdown that would have closed the government in Arkansas. We had had an impasse on the budget. I was taking various positions of here's how we can fix this budget crisis, and every time I said this might work, there would be a press conference by some of the Democrat legislators who were saying, well, if that's what the governor wants, we're against it. So what I did was go to the legislature and I said, okay, you don't like any of my plans? Fine. Let's come up with yours. And I started listing what some of theirs were. And the context of that speech was, you want a surcharge? You want a sales tax? Okay, but we've got to have a budget, people. We've got to come up with a way to keep state government working. We've got people in nursing homes. We have schools to run. We have roads to take care of. And we can't afford a complete meltdown of the government. So if you don't like my ideas, let's get yours out there.
If that's the right thing to do as governor when you're facing a crisis, why wouldn't it be the right thing to do as president? Now, in this presidential campaign, you've signed a pledge saying you wouldn't raise taxes under any circumstances.
Because I don't think the federal government needs more money. If you look at the spending issues that we have, it's pretty evident to me that we need some policy changes more than we need some tax changes at the federal level. So it's a different thing when you're running a state government and you have to balance your budget. You have to make sure that you're living within the means. And the second thing is you're constantly barraged by federal programs pushed down your throat. That's why nearly every one of the governors, 43 governors, I believe, maybe 48, face serious budget shortfalls in 01-02 because of the combination of the recession, federal mandates that were unfunded, as well as the impact and effects of 9/11.